Now, since its launch, Swift's Global Payments Innovation, GPI, has continued to mature and provide more functionality.
Now, a new service has been tested in the UK to deliver cross-border global instant payments by integrating GPI into domestic instant payment systems. This can provide end-to-end payments across borders and time zones in just seconds, if not real time.
Well, here to look at the results of that UK pilot and indeed the challenges that lie ahead, we're joined by Vikesh Patel, who's head of UK and Ireland at Swift, Stephen Everett, head of Payments Global Transaction Banking at Lloyds Banking Group, and Paul Horlock, who's CEO of Pay.UK. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. In fact, Vikesh will be here at some point. But look, Steve, can I start with you? Because LBG have been really supportive in this pilot. So can you tell us why and indeed what it means for Lloyds Banking Group and indeed your customers?
Certainly. And, there are corporates, businesses and consumers all around the world that are now looking for a very similar experience that they have in their domestic markets when they make payments, when they look to remit funds abroad. And what they're looking for is that traceability and the confirmation that the payments have been made and received by the beneficiary. And at Lloyds, we can provide that in the domestic markets. We want to take that experience internationally so that all the banks that are around the globe can actually, sending sterling into the UK today, can actually get that confirmation that the payment's been made. Now, today, we already offer an instant payment service into the UK for many, many banks around the world. But what we don't have is that traceability. And the Swift GPI brings that confirmation and certainty of settlement and enables us to send that immediately, real-time, importantly real-time, back to the remitting bank, who in turn can then pass that information on to their customer. And secondly, interestingly, also actually in the UK, for our customers, our consumers, our businesses, the more banks that use this service overseas coming into the UK, there's the ability to get the funds into their accounts quicker, and particularly for businesses, that unlocks working capital.
I think we have Vikesh back with us. Hopefully you can see and indeed hear us, Vikesh. Good morning to you. I'll actually throw a question over to you then if I can. Why is GPI Instant strategically important to Swift as a community?
Thank you and good morning. A lot of people have heard this week around Swift's vision to have instant frictionless transactions account to account anywhere in the world. And GPI Instant really is the glue that allows a large part of that reality to come true. It allows for connectivity between instant schemes and builds on the speed, trace and trackability that we've been building with the community year on year over the last few years with the GPI offering. So there is a real positive benefit in terms of how we take that forward, how transactions can move against that vision.
And if I can bring Paul in quickly, how does this service support your ambitions to drive payments innovation in the UK and internationally?
Well, yeah, thank you. Well, we really welcome this opportunity to improve transparency of Swift payments coming in across faster payments. It's undoubtedly the first step we see to drive that level of transparency that's really important to this process. And it's a great example of collaborative working across the ecosystem. That's really something that Pay.UK is all about from a UK perspective. I'd like to thank colleagues at Lloyds, at Barclays and Swift for their work with the UK payments team on this. And it's an excellent step ultimately to the end game of transparency of payments. And we've already begun that process through our vision set out for the new payments architecture. And I know we've heard from end users that the tracking of payments is crucial. We call it kind of the FedEx model of payments, being able to track payments from its initiation right through to its completion. And this process takes us, if you relate it to the FedEx, it's kind of like the postcode region arriving. We really want to track it to the next step when we get to the doorstep, but this is a really good first step to get us to that degree of transparency on tracking, which is crucial to customers.
Steve, let me bring you in here at this point, because what we've just heard really is a thumbs up effectively for the first test results and what they've shown us. But can payments be sent across borders with different time zones instantly?
Yes, so I think, that's what the pilot has proved. It has been successful. So, one day back in early September, 4 remitting banks around the world, Wells Fargo, CBA, BBVA, and DBS, or remitted payment instructions to us via MT199. We then took those payments, we passed them on through Barclays as the beneficiary bank, and then we at Lloyds then updated the Swift GPI tracker. The good news, we run through 5 different scenarios. There were about 40 payments made. The average payment was just over a minute, and the quickest payment, actually that went the longest distance all the way from Australia into the UK, was in 36 seconds. So yes, it can be done. And just to put that in context, we made those payments quicker than I can boil a kettle in the UK. You know, that's the speed with which we saw the payment. So clearly a success, and aided by the full transparency of Swift GPI.
Vikesh, quicker than Steve can boil a kettle. Speed is obviously a huge key benefit, but talk us through some of the other key business benefits observed in the pilot.
Yeah, and naturally, as you just mentioned, speed is absolutely important. But also, as we've been developing these pilots and proof of concepts over a few years now, there's been a real diverse but really powerful set of feedback that we've had from the community. And those benefits range from traceability, trackability, no longer really having, if you're a corporate or an individual in a different time zone, having to worry or manage time zone pressures, operating hour pressures at instant schemes or in high value payment schemes in a domestic market, and really being able to have a better customer experience, have more choice about how you want your money, whether it's to support your business, to purchase some equipment for manufacturing, to pay someone, and to be able to do that kind of seamlessly, frictionlessly anywhere in the world. And that's really what we continue to see. And we're pretty confident, I'm pretty confident that network effect, as we get more instant schemes around the world live on GPI Instant in the coming months, that it will just get better for the end user and the end client.
And Paul, when we broaden out the picture, we know that faster payments, they've been functioning well for over a decade now, but what do these specific results mean for Pay.UK? Where are you going on this?
Well, it certainly shows how effective faster payments is at delivering payments at speed, and how important it is for the UK retail payments that can work well and interoperate with other financial market infrastructures for payments that originate overseas. That speed's one thing, but transparency, accuracy, being able to track is so important for those payments. Enabling the secure flow of overseas payments in FPS was clearly an important capability from the outset. And I understand that this is unique compared with most other retail operators offering real-time payment services. So the overseas payments capability in FPS will continue to expand. We really look forward to working with participants and with Swift on the next steps of this to advance that vision of full transparency.
Steve, looking ahead to the future, what's next for Lloyds Banking Group?
So I guess, you know, as this runs live, the emails and the phones for my relationship colleagues will start to ring and ping. Because I think actually now people are going to demand pilot's not good enough. We now need to go live, and you know we're committed now to working with Swift, you know, to try and launch this live in the market sometime soon, because we think that has real added value both for ourselves and most importantly our clients all around the world. We have now proven the capability. Lloyds Banking Group has built that capability, and we want to turn it on.
And Paul, your experience really validates that perspective, because really the skies do seem to be the limit from Pay.UK's perspective on this.
Yeah, I mean, we've already discussed with Barclays, Lloyds, Swift that we would like to work towards the next step to see the GPI service open up to accept the reporting on the sort code, because that's really important to that final step. And that would enable the next level of transparency to be enabled without requiring changes to the FPS service. And we'd expect that will add real value and be attractive to a wider range of participants. And also, so it's a really important link between this work and how faster payments has capability for handling originating or payments originating from overseas and how that develops. Because for Pay.UK as a domestic service, that's our core raison d'etre, but you know, this is a global market which is developing all the time, and this is a really important development for us.
And Vikesh, we're hearing about some big moves forward. What's next for Swift?
So we've spoke a lot this week around Swift's new vision for instant frictionless transactions, account to account, anywhere in the world. And I think, we want to just build on the momentum here. We've seen GPI Instant in the pilots that we've run thus far, including, and the proof of concepts and the UK pilot, the values there. I think the community are really embracing that value. So we want to move forward really in a couple of areas. Firstly, just to pick up what Paul said, collaboration and open ecosystems. We firmly think that is absolutely critical and front and centre. So we would, work with Pay.UK and Lloyds and anyone else in the market who wants to come on board and help us make GPI Instant into the UK an even better success. We have a huge and strong pipeline for the coming months. We'll certainly keep my colleagues very busy. We have something like 20 plus domestic instant schemes that we want to integrate and pilot with over the coming months. And we want to grow the UK service. So, I think it's certainly going to be an exciting few months as we continue to see this product and this offering mature and come to market.
So Vikesh, given that and everything that lies ahead, it's an exciting journey, as you've outlined. What is your advice to banks or MIs who are interested in joining GPI Instant, but they might be a little bit, shall we say, reticent about leaping on board? What would you say to them?
So I would say just a couple of things. I think, we've seen through the work thus far, there is a real benefit when we look at the end-to-end journey and speed of a payment. It helps with connecting up the global economy. Practically, what could some of those MIs do? Please get in touch with Swift. On our website and on My Standards, they can see guidelines that have been specifically tailored for market infrastructures who are assessing the benefit of such a solution in their market. And as I said earlier, in this environment now so more than ever, the power of talking and staying connected is front and center. So please just get in touch with your local Swift team, and they will be more than happy to take you through that.
Well, Vikesh, Steve, Paul, it has been a pleasure to open up Sibos, our final day with you gentlemen. I hope you enjoy yourselves over the coming hours. Thank you very much for your time. That's Vikesh Patel, Head of UK and Ireland at Swift, Stephen Everett, Head of Payments Global Transaction Banking at Lloyds Bank, and of course, Paul Horlock, CEO of Pay.UK.